It's Monday morning, you're sitting at your desk with your favorite beverage. If it's hot, it's already gone lukewarm in your hands. The weekend felt like a huge breakthrough. You finally saw it clearly. You journaled, you made a plan, you told yourself this week is going to be different. And now it's 9:47 a.m. Your inbox has 323 unread emails. Someone just asked if you're free for a quick call. Your calendar is stacked back to back. And without even deciding to, you feel your shoulders tensing up, your breath gets shallow, and the familiar thought creep in. Here we go again. You're going to do the exact thing you promised yourself you wouldn't do anymore. And the frustrating part, you know better now. You've named the problem, you've seen the cost, you've had the realization. So why are you right here, right now, back in this position, living in the same pattern you swore you change? And that question haunts you. You sit there staring at your screen and think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just do what I know I need to do? Why is this so hard? And here's what I want you to hear. Nothing is wrong with you. The problem isn't you. It's that you're trying to change yourself without changing the road you're driving on. Here's the mistake everyone makes. When something isn't working, we all aim our energy inward. We think, I need better habits. I need a better routine. I need more discipline. I need to fix my mindset. I need to rework that scenario and probably approach it a different way. I need to be stronger. And we wake up earlier, we download the productivity app, we go back to that conversation with that person that doesn't really need to be had, rewrite the affirmations, retry harder. And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, it works. You feel that spark of momentum. You feel that light of creativity, that sense of progress. And then, slowly, quietly, the old patterns start creeping back in. The late nights working, the yes when you meant to say no, the weight in your chest that never quite goes away, and you think, I'm falling again, I'm failing again. And here's the truth most people never realize in their lifetime. You're not failing. You're trying to drive a new route on a road that hasn't changed. Think about life like this. Imagine you're driving to work every day, same route, same traffic, same construction zone that adds 20 minutes to your commute. One day you decide, I'm going to enjoy this drive. I'm going to stay calm. I'm not going to let traffic stress me out anymore. Beautiful intention. But the next morning, same construction, same guy cutting you off at the merge. Your hands grip the wheel. You're clenched in your jaw. That familiar tension builds in your shoulder, and you think, why can't I just stay calm? What's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. The road hasn't changed. And no amount of positive thinking is going to make that construction zone, that chaos phase, disappear. You're trying to change yourself inside a system that hasn't changed. Here's what nobody tells you. You are not operating in a vacuum. You're operating inside a system. Meaning you don't just step in front of something and you get sucked into your next phase because you decide and willed it to be. No, you are inside a system that has its own chaos, that has its own traffic. Everything is happening because it's just happening. It's not happening for you, to you. It's just there and you're there with it. A calendar that's already full, an inbox that demands immediate responses, relationships that expect you to show up a certain way, bills that require you to keep earning, unspoken rules about being available, capable, reliable. That's your road. And when you try to be different without changing any of those conditions, your body hits the same traffic every single day. So what is it going to do naturally? It's going to resist. It's like knowing that the water is cold because you went and swam through that water and your body just still doesn't want to do it because it's cold. And in that case, you're not weak, right? You don't lack discipline. You're actually applying yourself. You're actually trying. But because you're asking yourself to drive a peaceful, sustainable route on a road designed for stress, that's where you're going to hit roadblocks. So here's why plans feel so easy and living them feels impossible. Here's the thing about that weekend breakthrough you had. Plans were clean. Plans exist on paper, in your journal, in that moment of clarity on a Sunday night. Plans don't get tired. Plans don't have anxious thoughts at 2 a.m. Plans don't feel the weight of disappointing someone. You can redesign your entire life in an afternoon when it's just you and your thoughts. And this is where a lot of people get clouded, trapped, sticky with this kind of mentality. They join incubators, communities that consistently plan day by day. And yes, you are getting your dopamine and serotonin hits, but you are physically in the same place you started. But the moment Monday hits, your body gets involved. Your actual identity calendar, your real inbox, your existing commitments, the people who expect you to respond within an hour, the bills that are due next week. That's when all the friction shows up. And most people misread that friction as personal failure. I'm not strong enough. I didn't do it hard enough. I don't have enough willpower. I can't follow through. Maybe I should pivot careers, pivot journeys, pivot timelines. Maybe I should pivot. But the friction isn't failure. It's actually feedback. Your system is telling you the road hasn't changed yet. That's it. That's all. The road hasn't changed yet. You are in traffic right now. There's a traffic jam going on. There's construction going on. Guess what you can do about it? Absolutely nothing. However, what organizations know that you're not applying to yourself is this. Think about how companies handle change. When a company wants employees to work differently, they don't just send an email and hope everyone magically adapts. They don't demand innovation while keeping all the old processes and policies and protocols in place. They don't ask for faster delivery without changing how work flows. Because they know you can't ask people to behave differently inside a structure that rewards the old behavior. People don't resist because they're lazy. They resist because the system hasn't changed. Now think about how you treat yourself. You say, I'm choosing a slower pace now, while keeping the same workload. You say, I'm prioritizing rest, while maintaining the same packed calendar. You say, I'm done overextending, but never actually remove what causes the overextension in the first place. Do you have policy? Do you have protocol? Is that internally set up within you? And when it doesn't stick, you call it discipline problem, but it's not a discipline problem, it's design. Your body is the first to know. Here's where it gets very personal. Your body feels the misalignment before your mind catches up. You wake up and immediately feel that knot in your stomach. You sit down to work and notice your shoulders are already tight before you even open your laptop. You take a breath and realize it's shallow. You've been breathing like that all day without noticing. Your body has been showing you all the signs, but your mind's focus is on that destination instead of in the present of now. The restlessness in the evenings, that fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, the sense of bracing before the day even starts, you're already tired when you wake up and you just want a distraction and out something. That's not you being dramatic. That's your nervous system responding to an environment that hasn't been updated. It's saying, we agreed to drive a different route, but we're still on the same stressful route. What's going on? And when you ignore that signal and push through anyway, your body doesn't give up. It just pulls back. It slows down. Less enthusiasm when the alarm goes off, less patience with small inconveniences, less willingness to go the extra mile. You're kind of looking for the exit at this point in this traffic jam you're in. It's not because you're broken, but because your system is trying to protect you from burning out. And here is the very uncomfortable truth. Here's the part most people don't want to hear. You don't need to become someone new. I'm going to repeat myself. You do not need to become someone new. You need to stop asking your current self to function inside a structure that no longer fits. Think about the last time you bought new shoes. You didn't look at your feet and think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I make sense of these old shoes to work? You looked at the shoes and thought, these don't fit me anymore. This doesn't suit me. This is not going to take me to where I need to go. This is not going to elevate me. So you got new ones. Same feet, different shoes. That's what we're talking about here. You don't need to change who you are. You need to change what you're trying to fit into. So here's what real change actually looks like. Real change doesn't start with motivation. It starts with redesign, or refine. It's not about waking up earlier. It's about asking, what's on my calendar that doesn't need to be? It's not about having better boundaries. It's about removing the thing that requires you to reinforce those boundaries in the first place. It's not about being more disciplined with your time. It's about designing your day so that discipline isn't even required. Let me give you an example. Here's the old way. You decide you're not going to check email first thing in the morning anymore. You're going to have a calm, intentional start to your day. But your phone is on your nightstand. Notifications are on. Your first instinct when you wake up is to reach for it or to turn off that alarm. So you fight yourself every morning. Some days you win, some days you don't. And on the days you don't, you feel like you failed. Here's a new way. It's more system-based. You leave your phone in another room overnight. You plug it in across the house, so you have to get up and walk to it when the alarm goes off. By the time you reach it, you're actually already awake. You've already started your morning without it. No willpower needed. How can you now make that moment last longer? You redesign the road. Here's a question that changes everything. Instead of asking, how do I change myself? Start asking, what would need to change around me for this to actually work? That question alone reduces self-blame by half because it stops treating your struggle as a character flaw and starts treating you as a system problem, which it actually is. And here's where to start. You don't have to overhaul your entire life this week. I'm not telling you to audit everything and rip everything apart and figure it out. You just need to look at one pattern you keep trying to change and ask, what part of my environment still requires the old version of me? Maybe it's a calendar that's packed wall to wall with no breathing room. Maybe it's the Slack channel that expects instant responses, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Maybe it's the relationship where you've trained someone to expect you to always say yes. Maybe it's the financial pressure that keeps you taking work you don't really want. You're not trying to shame yourself here. You're just noticing, becoming aware. Oh, I've been asking myself to change without changing the conditions that created the behavior in the first place. That is a thought that should pop up in your head at this moment. That awareness right there is where redesign begins. So let's pause. Let's join the refining table. Take a breath, a real one. Deep, slow, all the way into your belly. Now exhale chaos, challenges, pain, doubts, clarity. Take a breath again, a real one. Deep, slow, all the way into your belly. You're now breathing in clarity, direction, positioning, awareness, peace. Now think about something as you exhale, something you've been trying to change. Not a goal, a pattern. Maybe it's working late every night. Maybe it's saying yes when you mean no. Maybe it's feeling anxious every Sunday evening. Maybe it's a conversation, a person. What is this pattern that pops up? What is this behavior, this response that you have? Now ask yourself gently, what part of my environment still rewards the old behavior? Who, what, where, when, how, why? Where am I expecting personal willpower to compensate for a system that hasn't been redesigned? You don't need to solve it now. You just need to notice where that lives. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's where the real change becomes possible. That's where you have your breakthrough. You're not failing at change. You're not lacking discipline. You're not broken. You're just trying to evolve inside a structure that hasn't evolved with you yet. And that's not a character problem. It's a design problem, a systems problem. So the good news here is design problems can be solved. And it's not going to be solved with more willpower, not with better habits, but with honest and aware, intentional redesign. If something in you relaxed while listening, like you finally got permission to stop fighting yourself, that's your system recognizing, oh, I'm not the problem. This road is. And once you know that, everything changes. If this episode touched you, it's probably because you've been trying to change yourself inside a structure that never changed with you, and now you can see it. In the next episode, we'll talk about what happens when you stop trying to correct your behavior and start redesigning the environment that trains it. And if this episode didn't resonate yet, that doesn't mean it's wrong. It means you're not at that point where the system has become louder than your willpower. When it does, you'll remember this conversation, and it will make more sense then. This is an episode you'll return to when pushing yourself stops working and you start asking better questions instead.